I know everybody's super pissed on this carbon tax, which is applied today on the fuel at the pump as well as the heating that we use at our home, because our homes, pretty much everybody runs natural gas for heating our homes. So the tax on heating bills as well as the gas at the pump has gone up by 3 cents a liter on the gasoline, but there is a different rate for diesel and the natural gas as well. So will get into it. But before we get into the carbon tax, I would like to remind you that we are already paying a bunch of taxes, excluding carbon tax, already at the pump. Okay, let me share with you. So if you look at this chart, so we are already paying a bunch of taxes. So starting with federal level, we are paying excise tax, which is 10 cents a liter. Then we pay GST, which is 5%. Then we pay PST, or at the province level, which is around 13% in Ontario, and in some of the province it's 15%. Okay. Then we pay provincial fuel taxes, which is basically cents per liter. So in Ontario it's around 9 cents a liter, but then in some provinces like BC it's up to 27 cents a liter. Ridiculous. Then we pay provincial clean fuels adjuster, right, which is vary between 3 and 8 cents a liter. Then we pay the carbon levies, which is part of today's hike. So today's carbon tax is not the first one, and surely it is not going to be the last one, because Trudeau's government, they're trying to do is they're increasing the tax based upon $65 per ton to $80 per ton. So it was $65 a ton before. Today it has gone up to $80 a ton. This is not the last one. So every year they are planning to increase by $15 per ton. So every year from now on, the carbon tax, is going to be increased by $15 a ton until it reaches $170 a ton by 2030. So in the next 6 years, this carbon tax is going to get doubled. Okay, and the irony is that, and the way Mr. Trudeau is trying to explain that, hey, we are trying to save the planet, guys. It's a climate crisis. We have to save, for God's sake. But I think he doesn't understand that we don't live on Mars. We live on the same planet where the countries like India and China and Brazil and other developing countries are still burning coal. Okay, they're still releasing a ton of carbon gases in the same atmosphere that we share with other countries on the same planet. Right? We don't live on another planet. It's the same atmosphere that we are sharing together by other countries who are still burning coal. And the most ironic thing is Canada has the third largest forest in the world. So we have the natural habitat to absorb the carbon footprint naturally by having these large forests. But yet we are going to pay carbon taxes for the fuel that somebody else is burning on the other side of the planet, and we have the capacity naturally to absorb that without paying any taxes. So Mr. Trudeau's plan is to be net zero by 2030, and for that they will just fudge the numbers to give you the picture, to show the world that, hey, we achieved the net zero status because we're not burning fossil fuel, and even if we do, we are offsetting it by collecting a lot of money from the consumers in terms of taxes. As a result of that, our quality of life will be deteriorated further. We are already under the immense pressure of inflation, where we are paying already a lot of money on all the stuff that we purchase here, and now we're going to pay more, because when you increase the fuel charges, it indirectly increases pretty much everything, because every single thing is transported. Your food, your clothing, your Amazon delivery, everything is transported. And by increasing the cost of the fuel, it's going to increase the transportation cost, which means everything else is going to get increased. So remind me how we are going to get inflation under 2%. Think about that. Anyway, you let me know what you think about that. Put your comments down below. Let me know how frustrated are you with regards to this new tax. And it's going to continue to increase every year until 2030. And God forbid, if something happens globally which shoots up the oil prices, then we're going to be royally screwed. I'll see you in my next video. Take care.